Verse 71 of Surah Maryam speaks of us of one of the incidents that will take place on the Day of Judgment. The Quran says, وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا, that there is none of you except that you come upon the hellfire. كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. This is a definite decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what the verse of the Quran is telling us is that, contrary to what many of us would believe, that the believers and the good people will never see hellfire, the verses of the Quran tell us that in fact Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings everyone upon hellfire, right? So they come up on hellfire and they can see it. And of course the verses continue. They say, ثُمَّ نُنَجِّي الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا, and then we will save the believers. So the important point to keep in mind here is that though everyone comes upon hellfire, everyone sees hellfire, but for the good people, the believers, that experience in fact is a very positive experience. Why is that? Because first of all, the narrations tell us that though they come upon the hellfire, and this is naturally when they are crossing across the bridge of Sirat, them passing the bridge of Sirat and them going across the bridge of Sirat is so quick, and it is so done in such a momentary manner that they almost don't even feel it, right? Number one. And number two, they are reminded, and this is part of their blessing, they are reminded where they save themselves from. They are reminded that there are people who don't end up in heaven. So they are able to enter into heaven very quickly. And of course there are those, may Allah protect us from being one of them, who will struggle on the bridge of Sirat, and as they come upon hellfire, they might end up in hellfire if that's actually where they are destined to be. So the reminder for us is this, brothers and sisters, when we hear about the punishments of the Day of Judgment, the difficulties, so on and so forth, this is for someone who is not prepared for the Day of Judgment. If someone prepares for the Day of Judgment, the narrations say he passes so quickly, it's almost as if he doesn't even feel anything. And some narration says as he passes over the bridge, and of course beneath is hellfire, some narrations say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells hellfire to cool down a bit as this special servant of his is walking over. So this is a reminder for you and I that when the Quran says stay away from sins, or if you end up committing sins, repent quickly, and so on and so forth, and if the Quran says that the Day of Judgment is a difficult day, that is for someone who is not prepared for that day. Otherwise, for the one who has been prepared for that day, well, he ends up in the same position as everybody else, but he passes over the bridge of Sirat as quickly as possible. So let us go back. Let us, inshallah, purify our deeds and know that if someone shows up on the Day of Judgment with deeds that are purified, his experience is not going to be a scary one. In fact, it would be a very pleasing and wonderful experience.